Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
We're at a commercial break.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep.
gloves,
Yep.
rib protectors.
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next, well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Welcome everyone once again to Kart Chaser for today's coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge. As now round number 6 continues here on this July the 20th from Whiteland Raceway Park here in the state of Indiana. I'm Justin Prince with you as we get ready for our heat races today. And so far the heat, it's been increasing. 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Here in today's temperatures, partly cloudy skies at the moment as well seems to be the skybox. Just about all set to go racing already. Up front, it's Danny O'Gara. It's Dominic Gaddis. They'll be joined by Austin Taylor and Dylan Thomas. Lamb Stoner and Dalton Sears, your top 6. Fleischsteiner and Jordan Lapham, your top 8 in session. Green flag is out. We're underway here once more. And already a clean launch up at the very front of the field as they battle it out 2 by 2, trying to sort themselves out here in the 5-minute plus 2-lap races here for your heats today. O'Gara up front, followed by Austin Taylor to start things off for the opening laps here. All that's with the top 3 starting to try and break away. Dominic Gaddis is the caboose of this train for the time being. Looking like Gaddis trying to make a poke. Gaddis looking around. Not yet doing per se, it appears, yet. It's so tricky to pass at times for this racetrack here today. We've seen that come into play a lot for this one. Gaddis, should say, has taken the spot over Austin Taylor. So we'll see if Gaddis is able to peel away the race lead here as this time progresses in this one. Should be about a 7-8 lapper based on the times around the racetrack. Running 47.3s at the moment up front. So far, so solid when it comes to the racing for O'Gara as well. We've seen the O'Garas be very solid all day today so far, on pace. Blue Kart seems in sync so far, up by 2/10. Already another poke to get around Gaddis. Austin Taylor trying to find a way around, can't for the time being yet. Right now, keeping an eye on if there's going to be any sudden movements here. Remember, time and patience are so critical throughout the week so far, throughout the racing here today. Patience is a virtue. Being able to think like a chess piece, also so critical if you want to be able to get things done just right. So right now, 2 minutes to go in this race. Gaddis still falling on behind in line. Taylor right behind. Still, it's going to be the question, when does anybody break out? There's one breakout. Taylor breaks out the second. All sorts of squabbling. 4 seconds going to allow the opportunity for the leader to break away here, it looks like. At least with how things have sorted out right now. It's going to take a lot of working together and a lot of quickly to be able to make sure there is a pass down here. Or better yet, there is a chance to make a pass down here. on the track. Austin Taylor seems to be doing so, seems to be trying to co-opetition it to be able to be patient. Taylor starting to make some moves. 42 seconds to go on the clock as they zip on through in Sportsman. Taylor, last time by, set the fastest lap of the race of 46.2. Still expecting a 2 to go signal coming up here. All of this is wow. Gaddis has fallen off and has fallen into the clutches of Feinsteiner more than anything. Coming up right now into lap traffic as well. You see some of the blue flags being signaled for heart of the field. Coming up to 2 sticks, double sticks, this time by Taylor on the push. Fastest laps for both the front runners as Taylor tries to push the tempo. Feinsteiner having on this lap as well. Here we go. Austin Taylor trying to look for a run. All of this is with the top 2 looking to push. Right now, Taylor has really spread out those top 2 for the rest of this field. Has spread them out from the rest of the pack and will then work out to his favor to be able to make a lunge here. Coming up to the white flag this upcoming time by O'Gara. Tries to play on to the defense. Here's the white flag. Final time around. Taylor stays lined up behind. Looks for a plate round. And now high side trying to line it up for the diamond. Taylor looking inside through the banking. Taylor makes the pass. O'Gara now needs to set him back. Can he find a way to poke to the inside? Instead, Gaddis trying to push on O'Gara. Now a push from Gaddis for second. That's all Taylor needed to see. Able to squeeze back is Gaddis. Now contact nearly between Gaddis and O'Gara. Side by side for second, but up front, and a joy for Austin Taylor. Austin Taylor wins in Sportsman. Taylor first, O'Gara second, Gaddis in third, Thomas and Sears, your top 5. Ronnie up the top 10, Feinsteiner, Roberts, Stoner, Lapum, Willing inside the top 10. Rest of the carts coming across the stripe. Overall today, 20 different starters beginning this race. A strong run for Sportsman comes to a close as all the carts come across the stripe and celebrate the end. Cadet is coming up. They'll start at 3:10 here on Kart Chaser.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
We have Leah Simon Ellick report to the grid, please. Not go through. And we have Leah Simonellic report to the grid.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's action here on Kart Chaser. Justin Prince with you as the cadets ready to go. Currently waiting on one more car before we get things rolling. They were scheduled to start for 3:10, waiting for Simon Ellick, as heard on the radio. So, again, to reiterate how things have gone for cadets so far this season, Regan Hodges has been the quickest out of those karts today. Then we'll see how things go for this session. Heat racing. Brett Hastings, Simon Ellick, Hendrickson, McNeely, your top 5 for this one. Heinzen, Geist, Seiner, Robbins, the top 9. Green, 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 and we're underway with a squeeze. Right now, things staying lockstep early on in the race. Hastings staying close for the time being. Now, all of this is with them staying in the steps together. The top 2 already running away by a sizable margin. We've already talked about the praises a little bit earlier on today for Hodges. PMO Racer races a lot across the state of Indiana. Family very pumped with how the performances have gone so far for Regan in terms of today for Hodges. Just taking a look at some of the stunt social side as well. They've been very pumped in terms of every time they've been to the track. In terms of this performance so far for Regan, so far 3 consecutive wins in this class in the 33 cadet. Right now, the gap starting to grow from 7/10 to near 1 second. And this has been right on schedule in terms of some of the intervals in this class today. Hodges has done this much of the day today, where as soon as the race starts, keeps close for the short run, but long run, Hodges has outright consistent pace to be able to pull away from the rest of the crowd. So, right now, as things stand, Kyler Hendrickson's also keeping things close in the battle for 3rd, by the way. Within 4/10 right now for those respective spots at the moment, halfway through the race. Already coming up to the end of lap 3 complete here. Hodges looks to run and pull away.
That they switched the insurance. Yeah. Trust me, I think you're going to be okay.
Take a look at some of the drivers and some of the fans watching along as currently Hodges sets sail in front. Seiner right now 6 seconds back on the next car for the race lead battle. Right now needing to close a lot of gaps. Grace Geist has passed by Kyler Hendrickson. Hendrickson is falling down the pylon all of a sudden, so something's happened to the 95. And so there goes the strong run for Hendrickson that we're just talking about in the midst of a battle. Down to under 2 minutes to go. Right now, 48-second lap times being set by Hodges. 49 to 50 seconds behind on the times behind her, rather. So far, that seems to be the comparison's sake at the moment. Regan Hodges up by 3.7 seconds. Still plenty of time to run away and pull away. With 30 seconds on the clock, looking like we're going to get to about 8 laps again. Maybe 7. Should see 2 to go at the stripe for Regan. What else can you say in terms of this speed? It has been outright flying pace in terms of speed today from Regan Hodges. 5+ seconds, similar to what we've seen earlier today in her other race. What else can you say? Three laps to the board, coming up to 2 laps to go here. Should be 2 to go. There's the double sticks. Hastings has held on very firmly to second, by the way. Good shout to Brett so far with how Hastings has played their kart so far around the racetrack. McNeely still holding on to a solid buffer for a podium position too, as times continue to circulate and looking at the board so far. But Hodges ready to come take the white flag this time by. Final time around for the Cadet Heat race. Right now, Hodges can just coast her way home with how big the gap has gotten right here. But just showcases again her speed here today, outright electrifyingly quick from this class. And so, one more set of corners for Regan Hodges. Hodges will come to the final sector and get to celebrate. Regan Hodges take the checker flag and win. Regan Hodges. So once again, Hodges, Hastings, McNeely, Geist, and Heinzen, your top 5. Senior, Hendrickson, your top 7 on the racetrack. That's how Cadets closes up their respective run here today. The rest of the drivers now coming across the stripe to finish here in this one. So next up is the medium class. 206 mediums due up here on Kart Chaser. Drivers now getting into the midst of their preparations with the next minute or so to be on the track for 206 medium competition. And the mediums in qualifying, remember Brayden Johnson led the way in what was, for much of the session, packed groupings. And Johnson, along with Jared Howerton, Evan McCordendale, and more, were all grouped together for the last stages of the session, all trying to battle each other more than work together to help each other in terms of qualifying times. It was an interesting dynamic, and we'll see how that now goes for the racing dynamic here tonight. So the middle cards, middle portions of today's races about to kick off here. So 6 races on the card, once again to remind you, for the Indy Karting Challenge here per class, or rather per grouping. This grouping featuring Sportsman already complete, Cadet already complete for the Heats, then Medium, Junior, then 206 Masters, and KA Senior and Masters before they get rumbling for their respective runs today. Then the final, Those will be 9 minutes plus 2 laps once again for later on today. Karts are now coming onto the racetrack. This is your grouping for medium. So your arrangement, Braden Johnson, Jared Howerton, Evan McCorkindale, then Elijah Fox, Cammy Pfister, Dylan Howerton, Levi Wilbur down in 7th, Braden Mayfield, Gage Justiniano, then Rafaldo Galicia, Colton Mayfield, Kyler Peebles rounds out your entries here today. 12 karts on course. 5 minutes plus 2 laps to deal with. Green flag is out. We're underway. Clean run to start off this class now. As they stay 2 by 2, in fact, in the battles for 2nd and 4th. Now the battle is on for the lead a little bit. How things look so far, Braden Johnson up front, McCorkindale already up to 2nd spot with the battling. All is well with Jared Howerton up to the 3rd position. All single filed out for the time being as they build up speed for their first official lap around the racetrack. Remember, when we've seen this group in qualifying, remind those again that did not see earlier on, they did not stay patient in the qualifying session. We'll see if they have that coming to play for the race now for today's first groupings for like this today, for the heats rather than the final, to set up the final rather. Johnson, Howerton, Fox, McCorkindale, now your top 4 on racetrack. Already past the first minute. It's like drivers currently getting themselves single filed out right now. Starting to spread into their certain battle paths. We've seen really coming to play today. Elijah Fox trying to find a way to battle his way to the inside. Able to get alongside a bit of slide. Jared Howerton able to get the better run high side though. All through the fencing, they zoom on through. Braden Johnson still playing good defense up front. Look to your pylon, 2 laps down, already past 2 minutes in. Still 2 minutes and 50 seconds-ish to work with on the racetrack. Bit of a slide for the rear tires now as Braden Johnson tries to play some solid D. Jared Howerton tries to play some solid offense, some solid O. No place to poke yet with McCorkindale right on behind. Fox already losing ground from the initial shuffle attempt from earlier on. Starting to form up small group into 2 as Fox goes wheel to wheel, push off from one kart. McCorkindale pushed off the track with a battle for Fox. So off the track going the 19 kart. We'll see what's discussed there after that. Near contact looked to be a big squeeze attempt. We'll see. All well, Braden Johnson and Jared Howerton battle it out for the race lead now. Elijah Fox now out of the conversation. Let's take a look around the circuit with less than 90 seconds to go. Braden Johnson, once again, is your current leader over Jared Howerton. As we take a look at the replay, lower corner. Watch right there. See, was there wheel contact? Difficult to tell. There definitely was a bit of a squeeze. Watch the line right there. right off the racetrack in that regard. So we'll see once again in the slow-mo, as there's only so much you can go to the left before you're sent towards the gravel trap into the rumble strips, and that seems to be the case right there. So, 30 seconds to go on the board. Johnson, Howerton, Fox, Dylan Howerton, Levi Wilbur, now your top 5 on racetrack. Jared Howerton really helped stretch out the gap after Fox getting a little bit physical before. We'll see how many laps they call here as they zip around the racetrack. Look to the stand. They get 2 to go signals already. 2 laps to go. Braden Johnson still solidly driving well up front. Still solid driving up front from Braden Johnson. Jared Howerton still providing a lot of pressure, waiting for that final lap, it looks like, possibly for the unexpected moment. When will the unexpected come? Well, it's not going to come into play here. Doesn't look like it. He is going to push. He's going to prod. Now down to the last lap. Braden Johnson trying to play defense for one more lap around the racetrack. All over the back end, Jared Howerton looking to try and line things up. Near wheel to wheel. Does he take a send up the inside through sector 2? Looks like not yet. Might be waiting. Might be waiting to see if there's a mistake. There is a bit of a slide there. Johnson looks to try and cut him off of the pass. Jared Howerton, no poke around. Howerton will not get the chance to build up the run. Coming up to the checkered, Braden Johnson holds off a last chance launch from Jared Howerton. Fox, Dylan Howerton, Levi Wilbur, your top 5. Pfister, Justiano, Galicia, Feeble, the Mayfields of Braden and Colton. Rounding out your finishers, your DNF list includes McCorkindale for this race. Mediums complete. The juniors up next for 206 Racing.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep.
gloves,
Yep.
rib protectors.
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Welcome back to the racetrack here for Whiteland Raceway Park. Justin Prince with you here on Kart Chaser from the Indy Karting Challenge. as our next group of drivers gets ready to go. 206 Junior is now due up on the racetrack in the next couple moments or so, followed by 206 Masters and KA Senior Masters. And they'll get a tiny break before they go final racing here today. So how are things going to be sorted out for this class? Well, 206 Junior, they're like this. Carson Benjamin set the pole time, the 98 machine, with the 46.940. Thomas Anthony will start alongside. Adler Klein will start in third, Nick Santos in fourth. Evan Patton starts off in fifth with Mason Ward and Gabriel Payne, along with Lucas Randolph in your top 8. Lucian Laser all the way back in 9th spot. Colin Harden in 10th. Easton Shores, Jackson Stone, and Spencer Columbi. Will round out the field. Green already set to rumble. And it looks like they'll go around again. White flag still waving for the restart, so it looks like they'll try this again. Look to reset things in the 206s all the way around the racetrack as they stay doubled up. Slow crawl now around the racetrack as they go down the front straightaway. We'll see how these karts handle themselves in the start box.
It's not right, I don't think.
No, he can't.
He can't.
He ain't. It's done.
Just have to position themselves right. Remember, start zone all the way around the other side of the racetrack. Different area of starting compared to our finishing zone. So we try this again. Still doubled up. All set to go this time. We'll try this again. Green flag this time furled out. Underway for 206 Junior. 3 wide already in the heart of the field. Goes back down to 2 wide. All of them reset with Carson Benjamin. The one setting the tone in the sessions earlier on. Already calling for the work with these signals, it looks like. Thomas Anthony trying to do so. Carson Benjamin losing a lot of ground initially. One spin at the back of the group. All that's with Thomas Anthony looking to run away from the rest of this pack. Up to speed here this time as the clouds really start to settle themselves in. Some sends in the back grouping as it looks like one kart losing a lot of ground. Didn't see the number, but a lot of ground lost by somebody in that pack. But Thomas Anthony's not losing ground himself. Nico Santos, I should say, in second spot for the time being with Adler Klein. Rather, that was Santos getting pushed off wide compared to Klein, Benjamin, and Gabriel Payne. So, already 2.5 minutes to go. Adler Klein starting to get things reeled in a little bit, it looks like, on the racetrack. Starting to close up some ground. It's going to take a little bit of effort to get a chance at a lunge here. Carson Benjamin seems to be in the same sort of boat. Klein seems to have picked up a huge lump to drag. 0.3 of a second the gap last time by at the stripe as they work their way through Sector 1. Coming up to the final 90 seconds or so in this one. Klein looking for some diamond lines. Thomas Anthony still playing some solid defense. Still plenty of time to set this up for Klein. And work the way down the front straight away. Here comes Klein. He looks alongside. And a bit of a swap it looks like. Yes, Klein able to swap going to turn 1 in the least expected area of the day for at least the start of a lap pass. Lots of passing opportunities if you work hard enough, but most people have gone in this corner here today that you're about to see the karts go into all the way through the start Sector 3. And then the final corners themselves have been a prime opportunity right about here, especially where you see all the rubber and the rhino liners, so to speak. It looks like a lot of rubber buildup. Just planted that track down. 25 seconds to go on the clock. Of note, Laser has got himself up to 5th. The points leader coming into today. He'll try and get another top 5 run for the first time since, well, last time out. He finished 5th before in round 2 and round 1 in the heats as well. Should see the 2 to go signal coming up at the stripe. See that indeed here coming up, or if we see something different. Two laps confirmed. Carson Benjamin is now getting quick laps. It's a 3-horse race to decide which one gets the edge. Klein, Anthony, and Benjamin. All right, setting the tone in this race. Taking a peek inside. Here comes the run for Anthony. Tries to make it stick. Forced to reset. Benjamin presses the reset button for him. Nearly gets alongside, but able to get back to single file as they come up to the white flag. No time lost between any of them, really. Now Adler Klein has to play some intense defense. Another set, Anthony trying to do what Klein did to him. Klein holds serve. Final time around for these drivers here in Junior. Right now rumbling their way through the corner. Carson Benjamin waits in the popcorn seat, but already Anthony looking for a way to close up just a little bit more, to have a full-on lunge, to have a realistic shot here. It's going to take a lot of bravery. He tries the diamond line for the final corners, tries to set up another diamond to get alongside for a drag race. Instead, Adler Klein goes defensive. To the outside goes Anthony. Checker flag, it goes to Klein. Adler Klein picks up the 206 Junior Heat win over Anthony, Benjamin, Payne, and Laser. Laser helping his point tallies with that one. Lucas Randolph, Mason Ward, Colin Harden, Houston Shores, Nico Santos, your top 10. Jackson Stone and Spencer Columb able to round out the top 12 in this one. Next race coming up, it's 206 Masters in just a minute.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com? They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep.
gloves,
Yep.
rib protectors.
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No. Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Onto the racetrack goes the 206 Masters class as they look to try and see how this plays out. Jamie Bradford starts on their pole today. Melvin Gotze in second. Troy Toney, Matt Geist, Scott Hamble, your top five. Derek Hastings, Michael Schaefer in the top seven. Then it was BJ Snetler and Larry Pike rounding out the way they qualified for the session for those who took part. 9 karts took part in qualifying. Green flag is out. Underway. And already Bradford able to get himself single filed out up at the very front of the field with Gotze in second. See how they push along each other here as this now rumbles and progresses. Gotze in the dark blue and black. The red once again to Bradford up at the front. Matt Geist also got himself quickly to third on that initial start for the race today. Able to keep themselves single filed out for the top 4 as Bradford and Gotze try and stretch it. A bit of a missed corner. Melvin got a bit loose on entry. Just wouldn't stick. He's lost ground on the race leader. It's going to take a bit of a moment now to close up the gap now. Be able to get back up there. Looks like that moment has just about finished itself up by a 10th. Still less than 4 minutes to go in this class for this race today. Right now, Gotze still providing pressure. Just trying to make sure to maintain just enough. Takes a peek outside, thinks about different lines, and tries to set things up differently. Again, touched upon Gotze racing in these divisions. E-Series racer, part of these Briggs Racing motors and engines around the racetrack. One of those that competed a fair bit for the 2022 final standings for the manufacturer points. Less than 3 minutes to go. Bit of a rear tire slide from Gotze. Bradford seems to be a bit more planted in that middle sector in particular for those corners. He's had a lot more drift from the 83 and the 531 so far in that section. Kart zip their way on by as we're approaching 2 minutes to go in this race. Coming up to the final 2 minutes here. And the lunge is on for the race lead. Bradford losing the bottom. Gotze saying, I want to take it through the bank corner and take it. Now he does. 83 able to take away the lead all of a sudden. Bradford wants it back. Trying to take a shower line for it. Couldn't get the run. Time to be able to battle that spot right back. Minute 30 to go on the clock. Gotze Now looks to run. Can he fully run away? They have now ditched Bradford. Bradford having some troubles this lap, it looks like. Now it's Geist in second, last time by on scoring. Oh, and another time missing the bottom. Side by side for the lead for a moment. Yet again, some troubles getting the kart to stick. Geist trying to provide some pressure amongst those up here now. 44 seconds on the clock. And of no, Bradford has fallen all the way past the third spot. He is out of the podium positions all of a sudden. Looking so comfortable moments ago. Still, all of this is allowing Gotze to try and pull away to close out this race. Still having a couple more laps to go after this. Should see double sticks here. Yes, double sticks in the air, 2 laps to go. Guys still staying in the line. Still playing the patience game. No place to be able to get a run quite yet. Just seems like Gotze is the better kart now all of a sudden in clean space compared to in traffic. White flag is out, final time around. Now, is there a chance for a swap around? It's talked about in the points. Matt Geist, the points leader, has only finished second once all season. He's won everything else so far this year. Can he change the complexion of this race in the final sectors? And Geist tries to close up, chops down the car length he needed to. Can he close up and close to the side? He goes inside. Side by side for the lead. Geist rips it away on the final lap in the final turn. Matt Geist gets it done to win the heat race for Masters. 206 Masters goes to Matt Geist, Melvin Gotze, Jamie Bradford, Troy Toney, and Scott Hamble, your top 5. Hastings, Snetler, Schaefer, Christian Hogue does make it out on the racetrack, and Larry Pike rounds out your top 10. The last of the heat races coming up. It's KA Senior and Masters coming up.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
Just about all set to go for KA Senior Masters. As now the seniors and the masters race together and zoom along to the green. Charlie Steins led the way in the session for qualifying for KA Senior. Nathan Williams was the only driver to set a qualifying time for the Masters. We're underway here on the racetrack. Clean getaway for Steins. Race Laborenti still trying to hold on to second. Jay Lund able to get to third. Boy, the 1M is on the track, Nathan Williams, so that should default him to the top points. Laborenti still keeping things close right now for the time being. All of that's with the battle for third, swapping Elijah Fox, trying to make a fight out of things, does. Able to jump up a spot, it looks like there. Already hard defensive racing up front though for KA Senior. Walking all the way to the inside, Race Liberante. Able to get defensive and take the lead away. And so Liberante at the point after taking the lead down the front straightaway. These karts running up to 40 seconds a lap time. These are your fastest karts on racetrack with how we've seen them play things today. Charlie Steins should say, still keeping things lined together. Elijah Fox doing the same as the top three look to work together a bit and break away. Steins in there in second spot. Final 6 also up several spots, able to get to the 5th position here with how things have gone so far. Race Liberante working now defensive. Fox able to dive inside. Fox able to make the pass for second spot. Fox trying to get the speed together and quickly right now. 41.5s as they kick up the tempo here. All of them working their way around the racetrack now with 2 minutes to work with by the time they get to the flag stand. Now, it looks like Liberante seems to be breaking away from the pack. Race is really, well, racing away from everyone right now for the time being. So far, this looks stellar. He won the last race, by the way, on this racetrack in his first start of the year at this facility. 200 points to pick himself running to 18th in standings. Charlie Steins did get himself up to second last time out. It looks like he's already in the conversation, at least for a podium. He won the heat race, though, that day last time out. After Liberante had to come from 9th for the final. Already 5 laps down, and Liberante seems to be setting the pace a bit. Fastest lap by Fox, though. We'll see how long set pace lasts as the gap starts to grow a little bit for the race leader, though, on track. That fastest lap was by 8/100ths of a second compared to your race leader. already down to the final 34 seconds on the clock here. Looks like no double stick this time, 3 laps to go. Of note, Lund has dropped down to the 5th position. Soto Sharipa up to the 4th position so far. So the 906 continuously starting to look better and better as this run now goes on. Last time by a 10th quicker than the race leaders. Clock reaching its final couple seconds right now as Liberante looks to pull away from the double sticks. 2 laps to go. Liberante looks to race his way to a checker flag. With how things have looked, the sun really starting to poke its way through, by the way. So, now as they've run their way through the sunshine as it goes through the clouds, can anyone else poke their way through for another spot or another pass up front? Expecting the 1-to-go signal here. Some battling around where one of the teams are at. White flag is out final time around. Carson Sauter, by the way, dropped down to 8th position. So, more so the fight is on for 2nd than it is for 1st at the moment. Steins currently trying to find the way around. Soto Sharipa also in the pocket, in the popcorn seat. Sharipa should say. Bit of a slide now for Fox. Crossover attempt from Steins. Liberante looks to run away from it. And bit of contact from behind. Steins getting a bit physical to end the good. Checker flag. Liberante wins it. Steins does get to 2nd. Fox and Soto Sharipa, top 4, AJ Lund in 5th. Rudder, Gibbs, Sauter, Potter, and Finley, your top 10 for KA Senior Masters. As the drivers now coming across the stripe to close up their respective runs here. Out for all 18 karts hit the track. Your winner, by the way, in KA Master, once again, Nathan Williams. So your finals coming up. 9 minutes plus 2 laps coming up here at the racetrack.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
We're at a commercial break.
Kyle, I need a new 219 chain. I need a 77 tooth sprocket. I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the Kart on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop AKR.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Look at some of the replays earlier on in the action today as heat racing came to a close moments ago. So far, we've seen a lot of side-by-side battling, a lot of intense moments. One driver set off the racetrack at one point, in fact, to the top 5. But today, we expect the finals to be very spicy, to say the very least, amongst their fights here in the races. So, we'll see how today plays out once again here at the racetrack. Justin Prince with you here at on Kart Chaser, here from Whiteland Raceway Park here in Whiteland, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis and Speedway, Indiana, which currently sees stock car racing going on there at the Brickyard as well. But today, look to see how the final heat, the finals of the day play out. 206 Sportsman, 206 Cadet, 206 Medium, 206 Junior, 206 Masters, and KA Senior Masters race it out. On that note, it's time to please stand and rise as we remove your caps as we play today's edition of the National Anthem. National Anthem complete here for the racetrack here at Indy Karting Challenge. Here once again at Whiteland Raceway Park, oldest racetrack for karting in North America, or rather United States. For more information, how to learn about America's oldest kart track, go to Whiteland Raceway Park on Facebook, go to Race WRP on Instagram or the website, or Whiteland Raceway Park on YouTube. Now, to be able to follow along with timing and scoring, and rather also follow along with officiating calls, there is a Discord available. If you scan that QR code, you'll be able to jump into the series Discord and be able to see the official sheets as they are officially announced and in the announcement for the field competitors today. Of note, one of the interesting things advertised a couple days ago by the racetrack is their latest line of merch, actually, amongst those for the online store. So it's good on them, once again, to be able to get some new swag, so to speak, out for people to be able to wear to the racetrack. Here's a look at the weather conditions one more time before we get things going from Whiteland, Indiana. It's 81 degrees at the moment. 82 is expected to be the high for today on the temperatures. The cloudy skies continuing to stay somewhat hazily cloudy. So that should make things a bit interesting in terms of how the track conditions play out. But no chances, it looks like minimal, if anything, of rain here today. No chance of precipitation. Even on Monday, that's reduced after being somewhat likely earlier in the day for the Monday. So we'll look once again at the weather conditions as 2:06 Sportsman Final action. They'll be taking the racetrack in about 1 minute's time. Austin Taylor, Danny O'Gara, Dominic Gaddis, your top three for this start. Dylan Thomas, Dalton Sears, along with Will Feinsteiner. Then Roberts, Stoner, and Lightman rounding out the top nine. Willie in the 10th position. Peebles, Martinez, Kason Hendrickson, Chase Call back in 14th. Marlowe, Robbins, Max Zeal, then Snettler, Miles Snettler, Cole Scott, 19th. Ryan Wheeler, scheduled to start 20th. Hayden Lawson, 21st. And Grace Geist, scheduled to start 22nd. They make their way out of the shade and into the sunlight in today's final races. 9 minutes plus 2 laps. Again, your race distances for today. So we'll see which drivers are able to prevail in this one. all set to go racing for the finals. 6 finals on the docket this afternoon. Who will win them all? Let's find out who wins said finals. Green flag is out, we're underway. And already the inside with a good launch. Good launch to start things off today from the beginning for Austin Taylor. And Taylor looks to try and set the tone early, try and run away from the Hornet's Nest. First laps up to speed, Dominic Gaddis already up to second position with how things have looked so far. O'Gara up to the third position for the initial start for this race. Already single followed out much the way through the pack here as they try and race their way along here. Already seeing Gaddis feeling a lot of pressure, if anything, over O'Gara. All the way behind him. Dalton Sears, by the way, is also in that grouping, able to get himself quickly to the 4th position after starting in top 5. First laps up to speed, Taylor already up by 9/10. No lead is too safe here, but it's going to be tricky to close up the gap over the course of these laps unless a lot of those people cooperate in 2nd through 4th here. Right now they are not so much cooperative. O'Gara trying to go some places. He's now gone into battle with Gaddis more than anything. And so Danny O'Gara jumps himself up to 2nd spot. See how they work at the start and finish line. 1.1 seconds between 1st and 2nd now as a result of that early squabbling. It's 2 minutes through. All the single file runners try now to see, can they close up and work together? Will that be on the minds of these drivers? Has to be, you'd have to think. Able to have a shot for the Sportsman Final. Looks like they, for the most part, just stay in the line, work together. Dominic Gaddis, your points leader, by the way, in 3rd. He's looking to try and build upon what's now a 1,185-point tally compared to his competitor Fichtiner, who has lost ground by 4 points in the heat races. Gap now up more than 130. One driver that is in line to possibly close up here, depending on how things go, is O'Gara. He missed round number 4, but has been outright knockout quick in almost every single race this season. And if he was to close up the gap of more than 200 plus points compared to if he had run a race, well, that would be something special for someone who has finished nowhere outside of the podiums. He's only finished on the podium this season in Sportsman. Right now, though, Austin Taylor seems to have checked out, and Taylor looking to try and win his 3rd consecutive race, including the heat races. He won the final last time out and a 2nd in the heat race that day. Started off the season slow, 6th and 4th, 7th and 9th. That put him behind for the championship hopefuls. But since then, has ran off a 2nd in a heat race, finished then in 8th in that day's final, but then missed a round. So he's the 2nd highest of those who have missed a race so far. But since then has been on a tear. And right now seems to be tearing up the road to run away with 4 minutes to go. 1.7 seconds between Taylor and O'Gara seems to be the gap. Just riding and biding their times. That seems to be the mindset for the time being as they continue to rumble. Gaddis still holding on to the back end of him for the time being. Still trying to see if there's a way to push them closer. "21 drivers made the starts, by the way, in this race today. A very deep field of competitors as lap traffic is going to take it away. Lap traffic costing time for Taylor. Taylor had to move the traffic along, if anything. And now this could get interesting because of said traffic. That is 1.7 seconds gone. Blue and orange flag to the lap traffic as a result, as there's more contact with some of it right there. It's getting a little bit argy-bargy, believe in that regard. Now your front runners all compressed together. O'Gara now has a prime opportunity, no longer needs to be in panic mode, is now in prime position to try and battle it out. Two minutes to work with this time around. Meanwhile, some sends and lunges going on between, looks like, Sears and Dylan Thomas. All of this with Gaddis starting to lose ground from the top three. This is not good for Gaddis. O'Gara seems to have been able to get into the rhythm. Gaddis has not. Now, we'll see if the blue cart is able to zip by the red cart. Less than 90 seconds to go, plus 2 laps. So far, Austin Taylor's led every lap so far. Yellow flag now waves. Looks like things are secure over there, but Taylor not so secure to be able to hold on to this lead with the way things have shaped up now as a result of how things have now gone with some of the lap traffic. 0.095 seconds last time by was the deficit to O'Gara to the back end of Taylor. More traffic to deal with. This time not so bad, not so traffic losty, traffic take-it away-ish, if you will. Should come up to 2 to go here, but it's getting very darty with some of the traffic side by side in front. We'll see how this now goes as they make their way to double sticks. O'Gara losing a little bit of ground on the racetrack. There's some of the traffic that we're talking about. Some of those involved in the traffic right now, well, include many of the drivers in the mid to backpack. There go the leaders as they zip on by through the bank curve. Coming up towards the final time around, lots of blue flags starting to be pointed out here. The leaders get ready to squabble it out. Coming up towards the white flag and blue flags displayed at the same time as O'Gara has taken away the lead. Can he hold on to the lead? Again, the blue cart versus the red cart is the battle. These are the lappers right in front of the leaders currently. There go the leaders right there. Now the chance to go defensive. O'Gara Now looks to give it back the chance from the outside. Able to take it back is Taylor. Taylor able to take the spot back from the outside. O'Gara now takes it back himself. All sorts of back and forth they go. Coming up to the checkered, it is Danny O'Gara who takes it over Austin Taylor. A lot of back and forth playing out there, but in the end, O'Gara coming around to the checkers you see waving around the racetrack. Gaddis, Thomas, Steer, Stoner, Feinsteiner. Amongst those in the top 7, Roberts, Lapin, and What Willie in your top 10 on the racetrack. So overall, 21 drivers start and looks like all finish in this race. Next up on the dock in a couple minutes time, 206 Cadet. Watching Karts Chaser for coverage of Indy Karting Challenge Racing from Indiana. Welcome back, everyone, to Kart Chaser for the Indy Karting Challenge here from Indiana. Just Prince with you as we are just a couple minutes away from 206 Cadet drivers hitting the racetrack. Overall, we had 7 drivers take the initial start classification from the heat race. And so here's how they will line up for the final. Regan Hodges, Brett Hastings, Patrick McNeely, your top 3. Grace Geist, Christopher Heinzen, along with Enzo Seiner, Kyler Hendrickson. And then there were 2 DNSs from that in Simon Ellick and Courtney Robbins. Those the lineup once again and how they plan to line things up for this race today. We still have a couple more moments before the karts are expected to hit the racetrack. Still, here we go. Karts now hitting the racetrack. 206 Cadets. And they now double them up this time for the final. And a bit more misconjoined, but the green flag waves underway for the heat. rather for the final. Regan Hodges able to get an edge, but now has to deal with some pressure. Brett Hastings wanted to take the race lead early on, making a bit of a fight there. Not able to. Regan Hodges currently up by 3/10 at the stripe. Now have about 9 minutes plus the 2 laps to try and see how far she can try to push. In the championship fight, by the way, she now has 1,235 points on the season. We'll see if that ends up getting built upon again here after the 50-point heat race victory last time. Top 3 in the heat did gain a lot of ground. Brett Hastings, Patrick McNeely. So far, up to 7/10 the gap. Brett Hastings does a very good job short run. To give Brett huge credit in 31. That Kart seems to be very good short run. We did get 8 starters for this race, as Simon Ellick did make the starters already up to a battle for a 3rd spot as well on the racetrack. So keep an eye on that one. Seven minutes to work with. Take a look as some of the karts battle along here. Simon Ellick has gotten up to the 3rd spot. Now by a second. Can Simon Ellick get themselves up to 3rd? That's a huge question. That is a driver that took a 0. The result of the DNS in the last race. Outright domination from Hodges on the speed yet again. Currently 2.2 seconds last time by a 48.5, 1 second quicker than the field. So they continue to see the gaps really spread apart on the racetrack with how things have looked now. .545 to go. Hodges just maintaining her pattern, maintaining her rhythm around the circuit. And right now, Simon Ellick is, for reference, closing up to Brett Hastings. Last time by, 1.7 seconds behind. We'll see if the 40 is able to get to Hastings and be able to take away the spot. It's been back-to-back second place runs from Simon Ellick so far on the day. Alrighty, Simon Ellick has closed up that gap, by the way. 2.0, or rather 0.15 seconds. Seem to have already seen the swap around come through. No, not yet. Keep an eye on that battle right now. Simon Ellick coming from the very back towards the front to be able to charge forward here. Last time by was actually just as quick as your race leader. Hodges seems comfortable. Simon Ellick not so much yet, but has cleared on by Brett Hastings in the backdrop. There's a look at that battle right there and how they've now separated out. Brett Hastings has been dropped down to the third step of the podium. Finished third last time he had a podium in a feature race in round number 3. Right now, Hodges is already zipped up to 6 seconds, by the way. Last time these karts raced on the track for the cadets for the heat race, it was a 10-second interval. And so quickly, the 33 is able to pull away. Seeing some of the other karts as they shuffle here with traffic. Right now, down to the final 2 minutes or so in this one. Right now, of note, McNeely is getting swarmed for some traffic for 4th, it looks like, on the intervals. Hendrickson and Heinzen are keeping tight. All of this is with Hodges getting reeled in, actually. Simon Ellick is actually quicker at this point of the race. If it went a lot more differently in terms of earlier today for the heat race, we might be talking about this being a 2-kart battle for the win. One minute to go, and here's a look at the battle that we're talking about. McNeely still dealing with Hendrickson and Heinzen, keeping it tight there. They're amongst those 4 through 6 on the racetrack, half a track back, yes, but having some intense fighting a little bit. Simon Ellick is still your fastest kart on track, but Hodges has been the one able to keep a large interval all throughout this one today. Looks like one kart has gone off the racetrack right up against the sand trap. Looks like it might be Signer who's gone off the track based on the lap ticker. They're well off the circuit already. It looks like back to racing. Check that, was Kyle Hendrickson. Should be coming up to 2 laps to go here. Hendrickson at risk of being lapped now.
What is their current lap time versus their back? So it has to be 2 seconds.
Still have a lap and about 3/4 to work with here. Regan Hodges has been outright flying all day, every race that she's taken part in today, to be able to run away from the rest of the field. It's been pure domination coming up towards the white flag this time by. White flag is out, final time around for Cadet. and a rapid cadet pace from Hodges all race today. Every single time we've seen that name on the racetrack, it has led to a huge advantage over the rest of the drivers. And now, as they come around for the checker flag this time, they'll look to close out strong here. Regan Hodges, she'll take the checker flag here, and despite the last-minute charge by Simon Ellick to close up the gap, Hodges gets the victory. Does it by about 3 seconds over Simon Ellick. Hastings, 13 seconds back. Round out the podium here. Brett able to hold on in front of Patrick McNeely. Rounding out the top 5. We'll see if that changes here with McNeely and Heinzen closely bunched up here based on the interval last time by. Here they come. And it does stay a top 5 from Heinzen. The rest of drivers, Geist will round out the lead lap finishers in 6 laps down, Hendrickson and Seiner. So the cadets come to a close. 4 more finals to go. You're watching Kart Chaser. Next up on the track, it's the mediums.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
Welcome back to the Indy Karting Challenge. Justin Prince with you as we get ready for our third of our finals. Coming up now in the next few seconds on the racetrack is the medium final. 206 senior mediums. Braden Johnson, Jared Howerton, Elijah Fox, and Dylan Howerton are your top 4 for this one. Levi Wilbur will start in 5th with Cammy Pfister in 6th. Justin Gage Justiano, Rodolfo Galicia, Cower Pep Peebles, Braden and Colton Mayfield, your top 11. And rounding out the starters from the last race, McCorkindale in 12th. Green flag is out, and we're underway for 9 minutes plus 2 laps. Now as they continue to work their way for the opening lap of this one, lots of pressure for Brandon Johnson. Last time, remember, had to deal with some immense pressure for a lot of that race, especially for Jared Howerton to close out the race. Now we'll see how he handles the pressure now with the extra minutes to be able to digest things and think on the clock. Right now the top two seem to be getting themselves spread out a little bit. Elijah Fox up there. Fox trying to find a way to outfox the maneuvers for the race lead. Just trying to be smart on how they make the passes here. Top five, able to break away from the rest of the field this time. Jared Howerton up there, Levi Wilbur up there. Pfister is also up there in the pack. Will we see anybody cut around and think they can make the pass early? That's a great question right now. It looks like the answer is yes. A little bit of a poke around for Jared Howerton. Try to get alongside from the outside. Nothing doing to be able to get alongside though this time. Still 7 minutes to work with on the clock. Fox right now in prime position, in waiting position. Just waiting for a slip up, waiting for anything to slow down. Johnson, very minimal mistakes each of the races he's done so far today. That's not going to be an easy tell to be able to pressurize any mistakes from him. Right now, of note, Galicia has moved up to 8th, Justiano in 9th spot on track. All of them continue to plan things and plot things around in their respective karts. All sorts of squabbling out for the race lead, it looks like here. Johnson still able to hold on with the squabble. The AMAX Racing Machine still holding on up front. It's talked about a lot when it came to their drivers earlier on in the discussion. From the last time they raced, they talked about, the team did, how Johnson obviously ready to race, but was able to perform well in the respective class we've seen here today. How much speed Braden Johnson has, able to defend well, but has to do so for 5 more minutes. Right now, Elijah Fox just maintaining the pressure. It's the best way you can phrase it. Maintain pressure. Try and see if you can pressurize a mistake. Working their way around the racetrack. About halfway through the race. About 4 minutes to work with on the clock here today. Remember, this layout tomorrow will change for those wanting to tune around for the doubleheader weekend. They will be running a different layout. We'll be running the bigger track tomorrow as part of its festivities. We'll see how they handle themselves next time out for Sunday's layout. which will use a lot more twisty sections for and a reverse style layout. Basically, combination number 63, they put it in terms of the announcement bulletin. Number 63. Brian Johnson, Elijah Fox, Jared Howerton are the ones that are controlling this pack. They're looking to try and sort themselves out here. Dylan Howerton, by the way, is taking 5th at the stripe. Elijah Fox, Jared Howerton on the pressurizing. Still nothing doing yet. They have Levi Wilbur, by the way, slowly getting back into the conversation. Again, these medium drivers 15 and older in this respective class. And their karts so far doing well. Right now, 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes to work with, and so far Johnson has led them all. Right now, that doesn't seem like that's going to last. The way Fox is just plotting and planning, just waiting for his time to go for it. Biding the time, right, is the main focal point. Just biding time to the very bitter end. Like a chess match. You make the wrong move, you end up being checkmated later on. You end up making the right move, you might be able to be setting things up 10, 20 moves in ahead of advance. And right now in advance, they look to be plotting things here. New fastest lap, Jared Howerton just put up a 45.769. Everyone else just set their personal best in the main group, 45.8 from the karts in front of him. See how much time they get, how many laps they get rather once they come to the stripe. Wilbur is starting to lose ground to these three now that they picked up their fastest tempo yet all race. Let's get Jared Howerton looking to the right side. Not much to do yet. Now he's got something to do. Jared Howerton jumps Elijah Fox, takes away second spot. Elijah Fox losing a lot of ground there. Now Howerton going to need to regroup here. 3 laps is up on the board. See what the signal is to confirm at the flag stand here, but it's going to take a couple laps for Howerton just to regroup here. It's going to become similar to what we've seen last time, it looks like. Already a poke instead. Elijah Fox spending more time battling for second. Already cross flags, now double sticks rather, coming up here. Braden Johnson looking to hold on for the race lead. Now he pulls away because of Elijah Fox wanting second spot back and wanting so fast. Lap and a half to go. Lap and a half to do the job. who will be able to get the job complete here? That's the question. Braden Johnson looking to finish that job. Coming up to the white flag this time around, Elijah Fox, Levi Wilbur. Jared Howerton's been drop-kicked all the way down to 4th. Can Braden Johnson finish out strong here? Now it's the matter of, can anybody take away 2nd as well? Fox, Wilbur, Howerton, all lined up astern. No dives as they try and stand in line for the final corners. Braden Johnson ready to try and get a celebration done here. He's looking to try and make a sweep on the round. Lots of squabbling behind Fox, but it's Braden Johnson who will come away to the checker flag. Braden Johnson picks up the senior medium final. Elijah Fox, Levi Wilbur, Jared Howerton, and Dylan Howerton, your top 5. Great recovery, McCorkindale. Gage Justiano finished off in 7th, Braden Mayfield in 8th, Alicia in 9th, and Peebles in 10th. Cami Pfister apparently has gone off here to close out this race. DNF for Colton Mayfield. So a couple moments to regroup. 206 Mets, 206 Junior coming up.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
Welcome back, everyone, for the 206 Juniors here on Kart Chaser. Justin Prince with you for the Indy Karting Challenge as we get set for our 4th race of the day, 206 Juniors. If you want to follow along on social media with the racetrack, go to Whiteland Raceway Park on Facebook, Race WRP on Instagram, or on YouTube at Whiteland Raceway Park. Follow along on social media at the website racewrp.com. Now, if you want to follow along with the race control calls, be sure to go to Discord by using that QR code to be able to keep up with the latest announcements for the racetrack. So, getting ourselves prepared for our next race. The 206 Juniors are now due up on the racetrack. Right now, how they look in the standings, Lucy and Laser, 1,116 points now after scoring 41 in the heat race. Evan Patton got a 0 for his efforts in the heat. That has allowed the gap to really separate out to upwards of around near 50, 60, 70 points-ish. Adler Klein will set things up as the leader. Alongside him, Thomas Anthony, Carson Benjamin, Gabriel Payne, Lucian Laser, Lucas Randolph, Mason Ward, Colin Harden, Easton Shores, Nico Santos, Jackson Stone, Spencer Club round out the field. Green flag is out. We're underway for the 206 Juniors. Top two really getting a great start right there. An unbelievable start, in fact, for Adler Klein. Klein seen race a fair bit of the racetracks in this vicinity, in this region. Right now, Klein leading by 2-3 tenths over Thomas Anthony. Remember, it was Anthony in the last race who got a good start and then got sworn by everybody else by the later stages. Single followed out for the time being. Carson Benjamin holds on to third spot for the time being as well. And a little bit wide goes Anthony. That cost him a little bit of time, not too much to panic about. Go. Klein leads the first full lap on full saw on 47.9. Still working their way around the circuit. As you can see how they're starting to really settle on in, make sure they stay planted on the racetrack. After this, remember, 206 Masters and the KA Senior Masters race will close out the day. And that one's going to be a thrower to watch out for. We've seen some heavy speeds from Lidler-Tor, or Ante, should say, from that one. Right now, Klein, we've seen him pop up at MCC actually, if memory serves right as well. He can be very deceptively quick in terms of the national scene. That comes up to mind, for example. Some of those events that have popped up. He is not somebody you can take for granted, though, with that speed. You have to be able to play him right, because he will outsmart you. We've seen him do before. That comes to memory. Mind you, he is in the 206 juniors, obviously 12 to 15 years old for these drivers in this class. Thomas Anthony just trying to make sure they break away and run away from Benjamin. Midway point in the next minute. Right now, lap times in the 46-47 second bracket. Purple lap time last time was set by Benjamin. He is running fast enough to stay close to these drivers with draft. And that's the big thing right now. He just closed up 7 tenths, 3 tenths on another purple lap. Did so by 4 tenths of a second. Gotta get things reeled on in. Looks like yellow flag waving at one part of the racetrack. Believe the cart may have gone off. Can't see the cart number, but we do have crews getting to work over in one section of the racetrack. 5 minutes to work with. Drivers giving the heads up right now at the flag stand. There's the cart that's off. Still waiting to see a number from that respective cart. Gain more information there on the situation. Well, it might be Mason Ward, as he's the one falling down the pylon here. Ward had finished in 7th in the last race. Right now, Thomas Anthony providing a lot of pressure to be able to keep Klein at least on check. Make sure he is aware of the situation, aware of how close it is, aware of that any slip-ups. You know the usual. Just be able to keep him as a pressure blanket. Thomas Anthony with experience with AMAX as well, by the way. Previously have worked as a cadet driver for them at one point. Right now seems to be dialed in terms of things. So, all things and all systems seem to be go for them. Three minutes to work with. 3 minutes. Top 3 stayed together here and stayed planned together to be able to do things around the track. Not sightseeing things, kind of thing, like, I mean karting things, like racing things so far. How things have gone so far. Carson Benjamin in previous times has appeared in CKNA Winter Nationals, has experience in the Cup Karts. Also has experience working with race teams like Precision Karting Technologies comes to mind. That name came up where his car back in 2020 was showcased. His kart as part of showing off a Ricardo kart at the time for Carson Benjamin back around that time. It's been a long time, and that was just before things got busy back in 2020, let's put it that way. So under 2 minutes to go in this race. Your top 3 have really set the standard. They're the only drivers in the 46-second bracket at the moment. Who is going to be able to come away with the edge? That's the huge question mark. We'll see what happens here in regards to Junior. It has been a sporty field today amongst these drivers. All of them trying to set things up here with 1 minute to work with. Minute 20 now just put back on the board. See if they adjust things here. But Klein's led them all. Klein's led this entire race here today. With how things have gone, it has been very difficult to be able to try and make a poke. Better yet, be able to try and outsmart Klein. Lucas Randolph, by the way, has jumped up spots because Colin Hardin's fallen down a fair bit on the pylon. Lucian Laser seems to be again having a solid points day to be able to score things in the battle for the 206 juniors with Patton's situation in the DNSs today. We'll see what the signal is when they come to the flag stand this time by. Right now, timer shows 6 seconds, but it's 2 laps to go. There's the double sticks. 2 laps to go. And Klein, right now, having an interesting time because he's lost the lead all of a sudden to Thomas Anthony. Anthony able to take it away right before the flag stand there. And now Anthony looks to pull aside and pull away. Klein goes defensive to the right side of the racetrack. Klein tries to pressurize a mistake, does pressurize a slide. Anthony trying to play intense defense. Back to the white flag this time by. Klein once again getting the brains out. Coming up to the white flag this time around. Final time by. Anthony over Adler Klein for the time being. Right now, Anthony making sure not to look behind, making sure to focus on what's ahead. And right now, what's ahead is going to be a battle possibly in the next corner because Klein's setting it up for the run and a move to the right side. All the way poked out defensive. Klein able to go outside, makes some moves work. Carson Benjamin also tries to make the move work after the poor run for Thomas Anthony to the corner. Now setting things up for the cross. Benjamin looking for the run. Can he get him alongside for a drag race? Klein trying to close the door, slams it shut. It's Klein who wins it, Junior. Adler Klein, how about that finish? Be able to close things out over Benjamin and Anthony. Not sure what exactly happened to Anthony. Wonder if he had a loose moment coming out of the bank curve. All that you can say is a huge moment. Opens the door back for Klein after Anthony tried to run away. And all of a sudden, a thrilling finish. Laser and Randolph, your top 5. Payne, Haddon, Stone, Hardin, and Santos, your top 10. A thriller. More coming up. 206 Masters after this.
You ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today. Welcome back, everyone, to Kart Chaser as we get set for the 206 Masters after a thrilling 206 Junior race. It's time for our second and last final of the day. How did things go last time out when it came to the drivers? Well, let's recap things once again from their heat race. Matt Geist picked up the heat win previous over Gutze. That was after an intense fight to the end. Jamie Bradford led much of the way, but got dropped back to third in the very end. Troy Toney and Scott Hamble was your top 5 previous. They'll set up that way. Coming up here, Derek Hastings, BJ Schnetner, BJ Schnetler in 7th spot. Michael Schaefer, Christian Hogue, and Larry Pike, your top 10. So, we'll see what happens when they hit the racetrack here. They are due on the racetrack. Next couple moments here. Just waiting for the command to be able to hit the racetrack. So apparently the reason the karts are not on the track is going to be a new one. You see that kart right there by the flagpole. Apparently there's a swarm of bees that have now taken the kart and have claimed it as their own. Now they haven't tried to drive the kart away yet, but the bees have tried to attack track workers and the driver, hence why we are currently in the midst of a delay. So the drivers are currently, and the crew members are currently trying to sort out how are they going to get the kart away without getting attacked by a swarm of bees. Welcome to a new one here as we are under delay due to bee watch. And it looks like some of the crew members are slowly working their way to the swarm. They have to get the kart eventually. The bees aren't going to drive it. Looks like 2 of the crew members, make it 3 and 4 of them, trying to do something here. You see right there just them being so cautious. That almost looks like there's a nest in there with the way they're acting. Not sure seen anything like it. So apparently the bees were inside that barrier is what is now being forwarded. That's why they are very mad and even the driver is shocked. Well, when you break a bee's nest like that, it's going to be very difficult. And it's going to make things interesting for that part of the racetrack though. As zip on by, hopefully don't get a bee's nest in the face. Looks like they've at least been able to get the kart away from the barriers now, in terms of this small delay. You don't see it every day, to say the very least. You never know sometimes if there's a bee's nest inside your barrier. Now, it looks like they have gotten the kart away from the bees. So it's been reclaimed by the drivers and the crew members. So they're now going to be able to at least get that kart off the racetrack in terms of a small delay here, and then be able to get us going for 2:06 Masters. This is the replay. Watch there. That's where the kart is. And then there's a bee attack as it attacks the crew member who tried to help the driver. And then swarms the crew member to the point where they are scattered off the racing surface while still trying to help the driver. There was not much they could do when every time they pushed, they were getting absolutely swarmed. The driver stuck there in the kart while things were going on, while the bees attacked the crew member. And that's the reason why we're seeing a caution there in the flag stand. That's why we've seen the kart just left there for a while the bees calmed down. A new one for certain. And you can even tell the flag person was even being told that, and they're like, okay, that's a new one. And here's another look at the replays as the crew members try to approach the kart, and same for the driver. So all of a sudden, bees are gone, or at least the kart's gone. The bees are still there. The crew members are making sure of. Now we just wait for the karts to make their way to the racetrack here after that bee delay. You see them to the right. And the second to last runners on in the order, 2:06 Masters. So, We'll see as the carts now rolled off there what they have in store for us here. A bit of a delay of about 7-8 minutes due to bees. Nothing incident related, just bees. A new one here on Kart Chaser, to say the very least. So, where were we? Oh yes, carts. 10 starters expected at least. Todd Davis was a DNS in his heat race. See if Davis ends up taking part or not. But the carts themselves are coming out as the clouds really settle on in. Already around the 5 o'clock somewhere mark. 5 o'clock Eastern already. Even the bees are popping up by the cameras there. They're popping up everywhere. So, here we go. Matt Geist, Melvin Gotze talking things over as they get ready for the start. Green flag is out. We're underway for 206 Masters. Already some battling going on for third. Gotze did not get a great launch. Bradford did. Bradford already to second. Gotze going very wide. Able to stick to the third spot though. Go by the flag stand. Right now, things looking pretty calm for the time being. No bees coming out to take over carts now in this one. So, we'll see how they rumble along here. Matt Geist currently working his way up in front. Ever had to do so in thrilling fashion with Gotze and Bradford before in the battle. It's Bradford. We know that cart's got a lot of short run pace at the very least in it to be able to hold on defensively. How long does it have long run pace? We'll see for this one. Matt, meanwhile, is trying to go what would be essentially 11 for 12 in terms of victories this season. Can he do so is a huge question. 0.4 of a second the gap between him and Bradford at the moment. Bradford, by the way, his first race of the season. A lot of first-timers here today, including Hamble, Nettler, along with Hogue in today's field. So all of them lined up the stern. Troy Tony up to fourth spot. Melvin Gotze going backwards. All of this is with Geist with 6.5 minutes to work with. So Geist and Bradford, the battle of the red carts up at the very front of the field. 6 minutes to work with here at the racetrack. So, all of them with Troy Tony doing a very solid job. Tony, mind you, is second in points. So it is important for him to at least be able to maintain ground in the championship in case anything was to happen to the 531 cart. The closer he can remain up on the pylon, the better for his championship chances in case anything does pop up. Right now, the top four now grouped together, line astern. Coming up around 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to work with on the clock here. They have ditched Scott Hamble, by the way. Hamble on his own for looks like the rest of this, unless things were to change substantially. Ascend for the race lead. There's the change substantially. Bradford slips up, takes the point. Now alongside as well as Tony. Tony jumps up the second spot, and Matt Geist goes all the way to the back. Not bad on the send indeed. Bradford now trying to work things together as the sun starts to prepare to set here in Indy. All this is right now the top 3 point away. Matt Geist needs to be able to regroup. He is losing a lot of ground all of a sudden in his kart. With 4 minutes to work with, it's going to be a tough hill to climb to gain all those spots back. But to do so, he needs to stay in the pack. And it's going to take at least a lap or two to be able to close up to the pack. Right now, last time by for Geist was 7/10 off the pace after the lunge. Bradford, last time by a 47 flat. These drivers, when they aren't pushing, can run 46.5s. They've already proven in this race today. Three minutes to work with and change. And something's gone on with Gotze. He hit a bit of the grass, it looks like. Lost a lot of ground, and Matt Geist takes a spot back. That's exactly what the 531 needed to have happen to be able to keep the ground going, make up some of the ground lost. Now, can he get himself back up to at least second? That's his worst finish of the season from a heat race back in round number 2 earlier in the year. Looking at the pylon right now, Tony keeping things very tight. Within 1/10 of a second, you can see the hand signals start to come into play a little bit from Bradford. Tony, right now, waiting for a chance to go. There is not a lot of chances after this one to go. Now they're starting to kick up the tempo. "90 seconds to work with on the racetrack. That should give drivers, about 3-4 laps, depending on how they reach things at the stripe, depending on if they start squabbling earlier. Gotze is staying in popcorn distance, as in ready to pop if anything goes crazy. Speaking of which, a bit of a poke from Tony. Thought about going for it, doesn't. Lucky that Geist didn't take advantage. Geist does take a small poke at least to the right side of the racetrack for good measure. Looks like it will be 1 minute on the clock here. Yes, when they come across the stripe, 46 seconds in fact. And we'll see if they get the 2 to go signal now. That was razor thin on the margins after the clock swap. All this is with them staying in step. Expecting them to come up to the final couple laps here with how things look here on the timer. Bradford looking to make up for what happened in the last race where he lost a lot of ground in the final laps of that race after leading much of the way in the heat race. 2 laps, 2 to go. And it could go any direction depending on what Tony does. Seen a couple drivers send it to the banking already. Seen a lot of drivers kick things up there. Now Tony looks to kick things up for the lead. He pokes to the right. He tries to send it. Contact. Bradford paints off. Now side by side on the send back up the inside. Matt Geist trying to make up the ground. Now it's Tony alongside second. Geist gets bumped back. He bounces off Agazzi. Coming up to the white flag this time around as they battle it out intensely. White flag, Bradford looks to run away. Geist right now losing a lot of ground again with the shuffling. Can Bradford hold on for one more lap? Can he hold off any lunges from Tony late? Tony trying to build up a run and a half. He's still a kart length and a half back. Jamie Bradford still holds on for the time being. Now it's down to under a kart length. Tony has one chance if he wants to go for it. Doesn't take it. Does he try and poke down the front straightaway though? A snake down the front straightaway. Bradford holds on. Jamie Bradford takes the win over Troy Tony. Melvin Gotze, Matt Geist, the top 4. Scott Hamble rounds out the top 5 finishers. Michael Schaefer, 8 seconds back, comes away in 6th. Christian Hogue in 7th. 8th going to Snetler. And the last starter for this race going to Larry Pike. He'll finish in 9th. How about that? One more driver set to go. It's KA Senior Masters. They'll close things out next here on Kart Chaser.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
Karts on the racetrack now for the final time today. KA Senior Masters on the racetrack. The seniors have a lot of karts involved in their field, to say the very least, though, at least 20 plus. We had 2 M entries, by the way, or Masters entries is a better phrasing for today. Nathan Williams and Nelson. Nelson did not start previous. Race Bronte will start things off alongside Steins. We're underway for the KA Seniors. The Liberante has looked very stellar in his racing here today. He's not going to be easy to beat, to say the least, for these drivers on this racetrack. Keep an eye on how the battles play out for him today. Of note, Just Williams made his way out for Masters, so give him the points it looks like. But right now, we are in our final race of the day. It's been a busy day here from Whiteland Raceway Park here in Indiana. Up front, Liberante drifting out the tires a little bit, trying to slide things out with the rear end. Oh, that's with Steins keeping things close in case there is too much slide. Elijah Fox up in the top 3 right now. Now, all of this is with the drivers continuing to stay lined up astern. Now, can they battle it out aggressively up front? Those top 2 seem to be trying to check out. Those 2 have been in command for this class today. Also up front, Soto, Sharipa up to 3rd, Fox getting shuffled back to 4th. Carson Sauter the top 5. All of this is into full rhythm. Fun note when it comes to Carson Sauter, normally out from racing in tracks like Cincinnati with GP karts and superkarts, race a lot on the national circuit these days. He's had some interesting moments when it comes to his racetracks, looking to go a little bit stronger here, but still running top 5. That's still a solid accomplishment for this one. AJ Lund, by the way, going backwards, same for Blake Finney in the heart of the field. Six minutes to work with. 6 minutes to go for these cards to close out the day. Liberante still holding things up front well. Steins up front with them. They broke it away by about a second. And 1 second the gap between them and the rest of the field, give or take. Augusto Soto Sharipa. Going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on, though, as that driver that seems to be the bridge, or better yet, seems to be one of those that seems to be able to close up a lot of ground. Augusto Soto Sharipa, mind you, is somebody with experience in USF junior competition. Replay bottom corner. One driver with issues bottom corner, your screen in the back. That's seen drivers like Clay Robbins fall off the pylon as they drove through the barriers and the cones. That's where the 1-4 card of Robbins has now gone off. So the Miami, Florida-based driver looking to close up by about a 10th a lap right now. Again, usually races USF competition for juniors. Of course, USF 2000 action just took place in Toronto, in fact. Now, we'll see if Augusto Soto Sharipa can do more than what he is best known to be able to cook a meal by himself for. A sandwich per USF junior category review. Liberante right now still holding on up at the front. Less than 5 minutes to go on the day, plus 2 laps. Minutes to work with. That's going to be the interesting part here is, does Steins have the speed to take away the race from, well, race? It's a huge question, I think, in a lot of people's minds right now with how it's looking. Entrepreneur still holding on up the front of the field so far, looking steady. He was a world finalist just last year for Rotex Karting's Team USA. He's one of those that if you can build it, you can tune it, you can race it. In terms of philosophies, that's why top of the karting, he races a lot on the dirt side, in dirt mod. Coming up around 3 minutes to work with. So 3 minutes to go. Right now, another cart is off. So another driver having some issues here. Make sure in a moment which driver that is. We have had also Michael Gundolf have issues in the 62. He's already fallen 7 laps down, so out of contention. Already, there's that bridge. We talked about the bridge is complete. The bridge has been finished. Up at the very front of the field, Soto Sharipa wants to make a charge. Soto Sharipa wiggling around the wheels with less than 2.5 minutes to go. All sorts of pressure right now. Soto Sharipa has been the quickest of the karts though. Last time he closed 6/10 on the leader. Able to close up this gap. Already some defensive maneuvers. Soto Sharipa trying to go to the right side in all this. I'd say trying to fit things that if you want to make the move, you need to be able to make it fast if you feel like you're quick around this track. At least in this class. Not as much time to think. 41-second lap times, right? You're talking about very quick times compared to the 47, 46 seconds, that extra 6 seconds of thinking process. Oh, and also lap time, of course. Bit of a bobble. Here comes Soto Sharipa, and off the track. He's off the track in the grass and the rumble strips. Soto Sharipa, who set the fastest lap of the race, is off the circuit. That is not great for them, to say the very least. All the way back to 5th spot with that mistake, trying to set it on Steins. And it did not want to go for the move. So, 34 seconds to go. We'll see how many laps they get at the stripe. They've turned 11 so far. No signal for the double sticks, it looks like, yet, so we'll go an extra. About 3 laps to go. See how the rest of the groupings are now playing out. It's a 2-kart race to be able to fight up front. Expecting 2 to go at the stripe. Bronte and Steins, the battle for the win for the final time today in KA Senior. Last time to the heats, it was Liberante who got the advantage. Now the double sticks are in the air. 2 to go officially. Not sure on the timing situation, but we do know that the top 2 is still your top 2 on the racetrack, Liberante and Steins. All sorts of traffic starting to move their way to the side here. Of note, in 3rd spot still would be Elijah Fox now. And Fox would need a miracle to close up this gap. Looking like Steins trying to work things around. Last lap, final time around for the day. Final time of the day. Can this lunge come in soon? Can there be a pass attempt? Liberante trying to look behind. Now ducks down for aerodynamic balance. A poke to the right side. Here comes the lunge and contact. They make contact for the lead. Here comes Elijah Fox. They come up to the final sections. Can Fox be able to pull up and away? He's taking it away.
Contact in the final sectors will change the complexion of this one. Checker flag wave. Fox, believe, gets it over Steins. How about that? And contact changes the complexion of the race lead for KA Senior. The first major contact for the race lead today. So the pylon will have to get sorted out here for the official results, but Liberante losing a lot of ground with that contact. He had led the entire time right up to that point. Wow is all you can say. Elijah Fox unofficially getting the W, it looks like, for the race, as it's push-up time for the flagmen here for today. On that note, as the racing comes to a close, a lot to discuss for later on, but tomorrow the racing action continues here on Kart Chaser. 8 a.m. to start for the warm-up session coverage here on Kart Chaser. But on that note, let's take a look at some of the replays for the last race. There was a lot of incidents this race, mind you, that popped up. We had two different karts go off the track, and Robbins and Gundolf in that race. But that battle for the race win will be one to talk about a lot. Here's where one of the first issues came in. This was in the hairpin, hard into the barriers. That's why we've seen Gundolf go off in the 62. Then right there, Archie Barginess midfield sent Robbins right through one of the barriers, directly on top of a cone. And all that battling led to what was another mistake for Soto Sharipa. He was in conversations for the race lead, seemed to have the kart to do it, or the off right about here when he made some moves. There's the squeeze right there, a little bit of contact, and the cut through the grass cost him a chance at the win. Right across the curbing to go there into the grass, but this is what we're talking about for the race win. Ruled as an avoidable contact penalty already is the call. And so Liberante, hard contact. Elijah Fox drove right on through regardless to take the win, and then some sliding and contact after the finish. That's seen a couple karts go off the racetrack. And how about that? You see some of the crowd reactions in a wild, fanatic finish. Seen several just cut the course to close. A thrilling one, but again, avoidable contact is the call for this. Trying to lunge up the inside, got loose, and gets to the Liberante, takes the front tires off the ground. And the contact's enough for right there, a zip on by for Elijah Fox. And how about that to close out the day? KA Senior Masters coming up to a close here today. We'd like to thank you for tuning in for day one of our doubleheader coverage. Second time today. We've seen a lot of intense action to close things out for a portion of racing. But round number 7 on July 21st starts off 8 a.m. tomorrow. Be sure to tune in here on Kart Chaser. To be able to keep up with social media, go to Whiteland Raceway Park for the racetrack for the Indy Karting Challenge. Race WRP for Instagram and for YouTube. Go to Whiteland Raceway Park. On that note, though, it's time to say goodbye. For everyone a part of our crew today, I'm Justin Brent saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching coverage and listening across the track to coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge here on Kart Chaser. Good night from Indiana.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
We're at a commercial break.
I need a new 219 chain, I need a 77 tooth sprocket, I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow. Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the Kart on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop AKR.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.